Hello, friends. This is Cheryl Hunt with Wine Women and Business, and I am so lucky that I get to go out into our community and meet so many women business owners. And I'm so inspired by their passion for their products or services. And that is part of why I created Wine Women in Business, so that I could bring that to all of you, all their passion. They're all doing something that's like fun, exciting, interesting, or necessary. And I just want to share those things with you. And so that is also why I created these video interviews, so we could get a little more in depth and really meet the person behind the business and behind the inspiration. And today I'm with Heather Darling of Raw Health and Wellness. Thank you so much,
Thank
Heather. Yeah, so Heather has been to my events. That's how we met. And I'm really just so inspired by her passion for helping people get healthier, and healthier in a way that really serves us, and is different than the typical approach to health and wellness, typical from the perspective of going to a regular doctor. And what I love about you is that Heather is both a functional medicine nurse practitioner, so she comes to it from nurse practitioner side of our standard Western medicine, and then also functional medicine. So Heather, tell us what functional medicine is all about.
So functional medicine is just a different way of treating. So we really look at the root cause of things, where traditional like family practice, you really get to, you listen to the symptoms, you come up with a disease, and then you treat it with a medication. Functional medicine listens to your story, listens to what's really bothering you, and then really tries to identify when that started and where and why, what's going on in the body that we can heal so that your body is able to heal itself and you feel better.
So
Without medication.
Without medication, right. Now, you're not opposed to medication
Absolutely not.
when necessary, but you try to take the approach of using food, both what you put in your body and what you choose not to put in your body.
Absolutely.
As medicine.
Yes. Yeah, food is the key. We can do so much with what we eat alone. And sometimes our bodies are so unhealthy we need some supplements in that process of healing. So I am big on that in that kind of transitional phase, like around 3 months. We may need to take in some extra supplements while we're changing our dietary habits, learning to eat more color in our food, really understanding what foods we shouldn't be eating too much of that cause inflammation or pain or that lead to fatigue and stress and mood disorders and all kinds of other issues.
So what is it that you find people are experiencing when they decide to come see you?
I think most people who come see me are frustrated with the fact that they've been going to their primary care and they were told that they have some sort of autoimmune disease or disorder, or they're fatigued, or they're depressed, or they're just not feeling good. They can't do their regular activities every day. They're having trouble keeping up with the family. They're tired after just going to work. So they're really just frustrated with how they're feeling, and they haven't got any relief from the medications that they were given or just going to their traditional primary care.
So one group of people is definitely somebody who has been diagnosed with an autoimmune.
That's a big piece of it. A lot of women I see, because women do take on that a lot of different roles throughout the day, and so they tend to not take care of themselves as well as they take care of others.
Right.
So even getting people to just sit back and go, what do I do for me? What is my self-care activity, throughout my day? That alone is a huge piece of it. So kind of transforming that and getting them back to taking care of themselves before they take care of others, so that they don't feel so overwhelmed and exhausted and all those negative side effects that kind of come with that.
And I think we're at a point in our society, right, American society, where we really accept that this is how we feel. We've gotten older, we're tired, we're stressed, and this is just how life is.
Right.
And so what you're saying is, it doesn't have to be.
No.
Yeah.
And even just that excuse, like, I don't have time to eat, I'm working. That's a horrible thing. Then we need to change that, because those are just necessities of our everyday lives, and we have the right to take 20 minutes at least, at a minimum, to go and have a lunch break or just a break so that we're not on, chronic stress levels all the time, which I think most Americans are living in a high state of stress and a very nutrient deplete diet because they're always eating on the go, or they just grab something that was quick and easy but doesn't really have any nutritional value whatsoever. So those two things can make a huge change on somebody's overall how they feel.
Right. So if someone is really busy, and they're tired, and they're assuming that their fatigue is really because they just have a ton on their plate.
Right.
You're saying that you could actually make some small modifications in how you eat, what you eat,
When you eat.
and then you're going to actually have more energy to do all the things. You're probably not going to get rid of all the things that are on your plate, but you're going to be able to handle it a lot better, right?
Yeah, we just sometimes need to declutter our lives in order to actually really see what's going on, because when we do have 100 things going on during the day, or and you're tired and stressed all the time, it's difficult to know which is which. So by cleaning it all up and starting from the basics, we can kind of get to what's really happening over all these overwhelming feelings.
Yeah. So, so someone is feeling like that. They're either frustrated with the medication that they're taking isn't doing what they were hoping that it would for them. They're still not feeling the health and vitality that they were hoping for.
Right.
Or someone who is just feeling stressed and fatigued and has a million things to do every day. Or anywhere in between. They just are not feeling their best selves and want a different way of approaching their health and wellness. Come see you. And then let's go walk us through what that would look like when they decide to come see you.
So they would come and see me. I would have them fill out a very lengthy intake, which allows me to kind of see their entire lifespan of what's been going on, and then even down to social relationships, the current state of their overall health and well-being. And then we just discuss what's worked, what's not. We do some tests if necessary to see if there's something that's really causing some of their symptoms. And then we do a reboot. It's a diet plan for a little bit to just remove all of those toxins and triggers and foods that are known to be high sensitivity markers, like gluten, dairy, soy, eggs, sugar. Of course, sugar is a huge one. Alcohol, coffee, all of these things that we use as crutches, really, we want to remove all of that so that we can start from scratch. And it gives them that whole idea of like, okay, I'm making this change. So now I'm going to pay more attention to what I'm eating. I'm going to make sure I move every day. I'm going to focus on sleeping and managing my stress through other things rather than grabbing for the chocolate or grabbing for the wine. I'm going to make a conscious effort of doing something healthy for myself, because after a few days even, you're going to start to notice the benefits of it, and so it will help it go on. And not everybody's in the same position. Some people are really healthy eaters. They're just eating the wrong things and they're stressed when they're doing it. Some people are not healthy eaters because they grew up on bologna sandwiches and mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. They don't even know. So it's also educating and getting people to really understand the importance of adding color to their diet and shopping correctly and preparing food at home rather than eating out. I mean, those are all simple little things, but they make such a huge impact on your body.
So it does take a commitment. You have to be willing to work on yourself. It took you all these years of whatever you've done to your body. There. Yeah. So it's going to take a little time and effort. It's not the same as just taking a pill. But the thing is, if you do need a pill, you're going to benefit from making these changes as well. Right.
Sometimes you do. I mean, we can do whatever, and there might still be some issues. So you have to take that medication. But if your body is healthier, you're going to get all of the positive outcomes from that medication and not all the negative side effects either. And you'll need less of it and maybe for a shorter amount of time, which is always what we want. You know, nobody wants to be on medications. Nobody wants to be on supplements. It's hard enough to take a multivitamin every day, let alone, something you have to take twice a day, and the timing has to be just right and you can't miss it. That's very frustrating and exhausting for people too.
Yeah. And the elimination diet is a short-term
Just a 3-week
approach.
little kind of a reboot, I like to call it. So it's a great way to just kind of understand the whole eating process too. So not only really observing what foods are causing problems for you, but preparing the foods, like actually taking the time to prepare food, which is a really big thing, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then also just adding diversity, because even though you're eliminating those trigger foods, you're adding in lots of healthy other options. So it can be a way to introduce foods that you're not used to eating. So kind of helping to create a more diverse palate.
And then you start introducing things back in to determine which is having a negative effect on you.
Right.
Like I know, for instance, that I'm not celiac, right?
Right.
But gluten isn't great for me.
No.
I don't feel great when I eat it. It makes me feel tired. It makes me feel bloated, just for instance. But that's different for everyone.
Everyone is different. So once we figure out what foods are kind of your trigger foods, you can still eat them, you just eat them less.
Right.
And then the key is to have diverse diet. I'm not a fan of restrictive diets anyways, as in the beginning maybe just to get to where we need to do and reduce inflammation and heal the gut. But then once we've done that, we want to have the most diverse diet as possible. You want to have every color of the rainbow. You don't want to just have chicken and broccoli every single night. That's not healthy. You need to be more creative, and that way it's less restrictive. You feel like you can have more. You want it to be fun. So you just have to do that reset. You have to figure out what foods you shouldn't eat lots of.
Right. So, and I know functional medicine, one is about getting to the root cause. And another component of that is looking at the gut as the basis for health.
Yes.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about what that means, what the gut is, the gut microbiome?
Yeah, so our gut is amazing. It should be really the heart of the body. It's responsible for most of our immune function. It creates serotonin, which makes us happy. So that whole gut-brain connection is very valid. When you get that gut feeling, it's because your brain is talking to your gut. I mean, they really have a nerve that connects them. And so when we're inflamed, when we're not eating right, when we're not producing the right neurotransmitters to talk to the brain, we start to see those types of things like fatigue and insomnia and depression and anxiety. Because we're not having that good communication. And so it just causes confusion, just like it does when you don't communicate with somebody and then you have that disruption and not knowing what to do. It's the same thing in the body in a sense, right? So the gut is just so important, and it takes such a hit from everything because we just go. We put whatever we want in the body. We eat really fast, which messes everything up. We drink incorrect liquids. We don't do what we need to take care of it. And when we do that, our immune system goes down, our inflammation goes up, our hormones are imbalanced. All of these different things come up.
And everything can affect it.
Everything.
Right. Including, especially, antibiotics.
Medications are a big factor for that. So, and if you take them when you're young, or maybe your mom took them when you were in the womb, that can really affect just the beginning of you creating a healthy microbiome with all those really good probiotics that you hear so much about, but there's a purpose to them. And so making sure that those are in balance and you have good enzyme activity is really important. So there are some supplements that can be really beneficial. There's also some foods that you can get all of those really good bacteria from too. So it's just creating your own plan that will suit you.
Yeah. And probiotics are they're everywhere now, and which is great that so many people are more in tune with knowing that that's an important part of our health. But you can help people kind of really navigate that.
And again, supplements are just like any other medication. They're advertised everywhere. Everyone can make them. There's no restrictions. So it's important that you work with somebody that does know where to get healthy supplements and how to use them effectively. And they don't need to be done all the time. Again, they're supplementing what you should be getting through your diet and lifestyle and things like that. So, we don't need to be on 100 supplements. That's not the key.
Yeah.
So that understanding and education is really important with supplement use.
Yeah. And so, and one of the things that I really like about your approach is that now at the beginning, when somebody first comes to see you and they commit to an elimination diet for 3 weeks, that's a strict time frame,
Very
but it's
strict.
also a short time frame.
Yes.
You can do it. I
Yes.
mean, even I did without wine. And
It's 21 days.
I
We can do anything for 21 days.
yeah, exactly. I had a little pop up on my screen, so sorry about that, but we're going to keep on going. And, but then after that 21 days, your approach is 80-20.
Yes.
Do the right thing 80%
Yeah.
of the time, live your life 20%.
If your foundation is very solid and it's meeting your body's needs, that gives you leeway for, vacations or just feeling like today I just want to sit here, watch TV, and eat popcorn all day. I mean, we're human. We have to have fun. We have to not feel like we're on such a regimen, but we do need that solid foundation. We do
To
it
get
for our
there.
kids. We are like, you have to eat this, this, and this, because the more we know, the more we teach them. But, they're not 100%. Nobody's 100% perfect, but you can
Yeah.
do the most. And the more you do it and the more you feel better and good and energetic and happy, it's going to make it so much easier that you feel like you're not actually missing out on anything.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to put that in your body that's going to make you sluggish and bloated and all of these negative feelings that I see so much of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's much easier that way.
Yeah. So we will put all your contact information underneath the video so people can reach out to you.
Awesome.
If they come see you for the initial appointment, and it's really in depth. Not only it takes about an hour to fill out all the background history.
Yeah, it takes time. Our initial appointment is anywhere from an hour to 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on the person, it's either I see you once or twice, or this is going to be an ongoing process because it's taken you your whole life to get there. So it's more, it's ideally better to see me for the year because we want that kind of ongoing open relationship where I can follow up with you frequently, make changes as necessary, hold you accountable as you're making these changes because that's really a big piece of behavior change too. So I do a lot of membership packages as well.
Right. Yeah, we all have all these habits that we've
Right.
developed, right? And so breaking those habits, it's really helpful to have somebody there to support you and
Kind of
walk
cheerlead
through.
you on,
Yeah.
and then also make changes as we need to, because the whole step of the way will change. Things change throughout the process.
Yeah.
Life changes, life happens, things happen along the way that we need to adjust.
Yeah, and with a membership, somebody has access to you all the
Unlimited,
time,
yes.
basically,
Yeah.
and you even go shopping with them
Yeah.
if necessary and
Yeah,
make the
if
food.
you want,
and-
if you want, we can go shopping. We can go home and make dinner. You can get the whole entire spectrum of what it takes to create a healthy environment.
yeah,
And it's fun that way.
Yeah.
Because it really is fun and it should be enjoyable. Food is supposed to be a happy social occasion. It's not supposed to be a chore, like I just need to eat this to survive and
Right.
go. That's really what we've turned it into, but it really should be more of
more
a
nourishing than
Yeah.
just what we're
Right.
consuming, right?
a time to sit down with your family and friends and socialize and talk and be happy and celebrate things instead of just getting to the next spot. You
Yeah.
know, those grab
Yeah.
and goes need to go.
Yeah.
need to go away.
Yeah, which again goes back to occasionally that'll come up, but we really, really need to get to the point where that's not your go-to.
Right.
Well, you don't need to, but if
Yeah.
you want health and vitality, that's what's best.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been so helpful to
you.
really, dive into and learn more about functional medicine. I love the idea that we don't have to accept whatever we've come to, that we really can, no matter what our age, no matter what our health situation,
Right.
we really can make a difference. And you've talked before about having a team of practitioners. So if someone does have major medical concerns, they can see you in addition to their primary care.
Yeah, I love working together with that too because it just creates a circle of health, So it's not a one-man show.
Right.
It takes a team sometimes
Yeah.
to make a big difference. And we just need to utilize our resources.
Yeah, and you're just able to offer something that primary care doesn't, and where you do have that more personalized approach, and you dive deeper, and so having both sides come together, I really like that a lot.
It's good.
Yeah. So, and before we go, you have an event coming up here on Wednesday.
Yes, on Wednesday we have our Christmas party, so we'll be giving away some really fun prizes. You can get an espresso maker, a week at Orange Theory, some discounts on our services here. There'll be yummy food and drinks. It should be a really nice event. So it's free, so just come by from 6 to 8.
Come on by. We'll put that below the video as well, so everybody can come on by and meet Heather and meet Elisa.
Elisa, she owns Raw Aesthetics, so she takes care of your skin, helps you look beautiful, and just keeps you looking young and healthy.
Yeah, the two of you are keeping us healthy from the inside and out. I love it. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we will meet Elisa another time. But Heather, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for supporting all the women businesses that we talk to, and thanks for continuing to support Wine Women in Business.